what would you recommend to a homeowner as far as regularly cleaning your gutters?
One of my favorite recommendations is gutter guards. It does depend on the guard for the home.
What do you think of the ones that are like the screens?
I absolutely hate those.
That's what I thought you were going to say.
Burning passion in my soul.
Why?
The screens will warp in the summertime. They also do allow 90% of debris still in the gutter and make it just extremely difficult to clean out later on. I just have a personal vendetta with screen guards.
Welcome to Lawrence Real and Local, Keeping It Real podcast presented to you by the Lawrence Board of Realtors. We're your go-to source for all things real estate in Lawrence, Kansas. I'm Lexie Haskin with Bank Midwest.
And I'm Patrick Dipman with McGrew Real Estate. Together, we are here to make the journey to homeownership a breeze. Join us as we share insider insights, expert advice, and a dose of fun along the way.
This episode was brought to you by...
Is your driveway sinking? Sidewalk cracking? Or maybe even your patio starting to dip? That's not just cosmetic. That's your concrete losing support underneath. At Top Gun Concrete Lifting, we don't tear it out. We lift it back into formation. We use high-density polyfoam injection, precision foam that fills the hidden voids below your slab and raises it back to level with total control. No jackhammers, no heavy equipment, no waiting days to use it. Most projects are completed in just a few hours and you're back in action the same day. If it's sinking, don't replace it. Raise it. Serving Eastern Kansas and the Kansas City Metro since 2019, call or text Top Gun Concrete Lifting for your free estimate at 785-248-6990 or visit us at topgunconcretelifting.com. Let's get your concrete flying level again.
Welcome to Lawrence Real and Local, Keeping It Real podcast by the Lawrence Board of Realtors. My name is Lexie Haskin with Bank Midwest.
And I'm Patrick Dipman with McGrew Real Estate.
And we are joined here today with Brooklyn Brungart, the owner, the girl behind all of Gutter Princess and Roofing LLC.
Yes, nice to be here.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you get into this? And you can tell us even about what you like to do for fun. Your background.
So I started Gutter Princess and Roofing when I was 17. It was just cleaning out gutters. I have horses and I worked at Texas Roadhouse. Love Texas Roadhouse, subtle shout out, but it did not pay enough for me to afford horses. So I just started cleaning gutters. And then when I purchased my first home in 2019, I called 16 different gutter companies to get gutters put on my home. They asked for my husband or my father. I was not married and it was my house. So I didn't handle that well. Being in the customer service industry, I just said, I can do this better than you can. And I ran with it. We just did gutter installs for the majority of it up until 2024. I had Jackson join us, and he started our roofing chapter. So that is kind of where it changed to Gutter Princess and Roofing.
But Jackson's also her husband.
Yes, my husband, my boo.
Her hubby.
But he's kind of helped expand it into what it is currently. But yeah. It just really started so I could afford my horses.
Wow. Heck of an entrepreneur, though.
Determination is key.
Yeah.
Hey, that's the way to do it. And side note, because you're a horse girl, are you just so hyped that this is the year of the fire horse?
Oh, I am so prepared. I am ecstatic. I actually purchased horse dye. I'm going to put flames on my horse for our next race.
Oh.
Heck yeah. Wow. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to see those pictures.
It will be blasted everywhere.
Oh my gosh, this is so awesome. Well, okay, getting into gutters. So, I mean, we know that you also do roofing, but we're just sticking to gutters for the most part. So we kind of wanted to go into how proper drainage can protect your home in the long run, because I mean, if you talk to pretty much anyone, any realtor or just anybody that knows, they're like, keep that water away from your house.
Amen.
Like, keep it away from the concrete, the foundation, like everything. Like, stop it. Like, stay away.
And the maintenance of your gutters.
Yeah.
I wish more people understood how important that was, but hopefully we can get that point across today.
Absolutely.
Don't drive by my house right now. I know I need to clean them out. There aren't trees growing in them right now, but there are a couple sticks. So, but my husband told me that in my current state, I'm not allowed to go on the roof.
Well, good thing you guys know someone.
So, good thing we know someone. So, can you just explain like what you do for gutters and why gutters play such a big role just overall in home protection?
So rule of thumb is our main goal at the end of the day is always to divert water 6 feet away from the home at all times and in all places. So with that, routine cleanouts is something we offer, repairs on old installs. So you don't always have to get new gutters. Gutters typically last 20 to 30 years. If they still have life in them and they just need resealed, no problem, we can get that fixed. Or we do full installations, upgraded sizing. So in 2010 down, the average for homes was 5-inch gutters. That cannot keep up with fast water flow on a high-pitch roof. You will always have water diving over the edge of those gutters. 2011 up, they started making the new norm 6-inch gutters. So that's one of the big things we do is upgrading those older homes to a more efficient gutter. And that really helps keep the water away from the foundation and keeps everything nice and happy.
Yeah. So what would you say is the biggest misconception when it comes to gutters and drainage that homeowners have?
That they are not important. Nobody thinks about their gutters. It is the last train of thought when it comes to a home. And it truly is one of the most important things, obviously aside from the roof. But in my personal opinion, since I started with gutters, I even believe that they're more important than the roof at times, because a gutter that works but doesn't disperse it properly will just dump gallons and gallons of water straight into your foundation. And that is exact opposite of what we want.
Yeah.
So whether it would be undersized for some of these heavy rains or just full of leaves and break down stuff, the little grains, like if that's not clearing out, it's going to overflow and drop right up against it.
Yes. And then even if it's not directed properly, so a lot of the times we'll see downspouts with just an elbow right at the edge of the foundation. Well, all that water from your entire roof that is being collected is dumping right there. And if your grade from your home isn't proper, well, guess where it's only going to go? Down.
It was crazy. So a couple years ago, before I knew you, Brooklyn.
I won't take it personal.
Yeah, before I knew you, I was standing just as one does, being a main character, looking out the front door of my parents' house. And there's heavy rains coming down. I was like, wow, it's really raining out there. I saw a trash can go down the like the road. I'm like, wow, that's heavy. I'm just watching, and then all of a sudden I see, and my parents' gutter over their front door just like broke right in front of me. And I was like, oh my gosh, they need to replace this. And I just start yelling, your gutter broke.
At least you notice it needed replaced.
I was there right when it happened, and it was just so shocking, and it was a lot of water. So if I remember, I just am having flashbacks right now. That's my little diversion. So that would have been a good time to call you if I knew you, but
we're here now.
Yeah,
That's what matters.
But I mean, even just thinking about all the water that was coming down in that heavy rain, if that was all just going towards a foundation or somewhere, I mean, that over time could be catastrophic and
very expensive.
Yeah. So, I mean, besides like foundation, what is another threat that it could have to a home over time?
Aside from foundation, I mean, a big one we see is driveways cracking out, a lot of wood rot. I actually had a client she had like a brick face halfway up her home, and the downspout dropped right onto that brick face, causing that whole, it was probably a 20-foot section just to fall off the front of her home.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
I can't fix brick, so that was a whole set of expenses for her, and I felt terrible, but, we did get it fixed to where there wasn't any more water continuing that issue, but
yeah,
it was a fun one.
It's probably letting moisture behind that brick, too.
Oh, it rotted out an insane amount of siding and all that good stuff.
Because then you can start getting into mold, things like that. Yeah, yikes.
All sorts of fun stuff.
All sorts of fun things.
Well, and even if you don't have even if you don't get initial foundation issues, if you get a bunch of water in on a heavy rain, you're probably going to get a little flooding from that too.
Oh, man. I've had basements flood out completely. Garages are a really frequent one. Garages being main level, a lot of people don't think, oh, well, it's just coming in from under the garage or from under the garage door. I had a client, it was seeping in from the backyard through the walls into her garage, flooding it from the backside just because she didn't have the downspout in the right spot. So, I mean, all the stuff you store in your garage, that all costs money. The garage itself, I mean, it all adds up, and it's something so small that could just start out as an initial drip, but it'll end up costing thousands in the end.
So talking about just preventative maintenance, what would you recommend to a homeowner as far as regularly cleaning your gutters, time a year to do that? What would you recommend?
So it does depend on the home. Obviously, if you don't have a whole lot of tree coverage, my general rule of thumb is twice a year. End of spring, end of fall. It doesn't really matter if you do it at the beginning of fall because then they're just going to fill up in a month anyways. So end of spring, end of fall if you don't have a whole lot of tree coverage. For homes that are surrounded by trees, I highly, highly recommend 4 times a year minimum, so once every season. Or one of my favorite recommendations is gutter guards. It does depend on the guard for the home with what tree types they have, the pitch of the roof, all that good stuff. But gutter guards can truly make it a maintenance-free 90% situation. Obviously, they do still need a little help here and there, but guards can take the brunt of that work off.
What do you think of the ones that are like the screens?
I absolutely hate those.
That's what I thought you were going to say.
Burning passion in my soul.
Why?
So the screens will warp in the summertime, causing it to not lay flat in your gutters. They also do allow 90% of debris still in the gutter and make it just extremely difficult to clean out later on. Helicopter seeds fit perfectly through those screen guards, and those are the worst to clean out because they stick into that aluminum gutter with a vengeance. And I just have a personal vendetta with screen guards.
I thought so. That's kind of what my experience had also been.
Yes.
So I've seen people before get on their roof with like a leaf blower to blow out their gutters. Does that make you cringe or?
Nope. I love it.
You love it. Okay.
Love it. I won't do it at a client's house just because it makes me look lazy and I can't charge someone to just walk along their roof line with a leaf blower. But that is what I do at my personal home because I do not have time for all that. It is messy. It does not look as aesthetic and you will cover your guards in debris or your gutters in debris. But it is efficient and something is better than nothing.
That was another thing I was thinking of. I was like, what for a homeowner that's going to get on cleaning their gutters themselves? Are they going up and down a ladder or are they going to stand on their roof and clean it out?
See, and even with a gas-powered leaf blower, does not work with electric, you can typically stand on the end of a 30-foot run and just angle your blower into that gutter and clean out the whole run in one go. Anything longer than that, you do have to walk your way down.
I've seen like the leaf suction. So like it's a leaf vacuum that people do. And so it doesn't get over their yard when they're doing the clean out. I was trying to convince Noah that we needed that.
Those are bougie. I would love one. I'm just a cheapskate.
I haven't gotten that through to him yet. He hasn't agreed to it.
Well, I've seen, it's one that basically, it's like a candy cane.
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
No.
I've seen where it's like a candy cane.
On it.
This one is like this would be a blower. So it's like a candy cane extension and you put it up there and then you don't have to actually.
Like specifically for the roof?
Yeah.
That one so that you don't have to get on a ladder. You can just reach up and it angles it straight into the gutter. I have seen those.
But if it's like a 2-story house, it's pretty much impossible. Or a 3-story, well, when you think of a 2-story house with a walkout, now you're looking at 3 stories. That's really, really high up, which is why I think lots of people don't clean out their gutters if they're 2-story plus.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
And everybody forgets about their gutters.
Wow. Okay.
I did have a question about extending, and you said getting away 6 feet plus from your house. So how do you recommend people do that?
So that does depend on the home, the yard type. I have 3 extra large dogs and a toddler, so it does change depending on people's home styles. Typically, my favorite way to do it is taking the actual downspout material and having a solid extension all the way out. But for people who like to garden and have stuff everywhere, that's great. For people like me with toddlers and dogs that like to trash everything, those do get dented very easily. And if that cranks down, it doesn't work. So those black extension tubes can go anywhere. Underground drainage is great. So going down and trenching it and having it come up somewhere. A lot of the times we will put the overflow spot into a garden. So that way in those heavy rains and stuff like that, or even a light rain, you can kind of direct the water into somewhere useful. So those are all great options. Or rain barrels. Those are my favorite now that, we've kind of adjusted to where there's not a bug issue. You can put those mosquito circle thingies in there that make it to where the bugs don't lay eggs in them. And those are great.
Yeah.
Well, so as somebody that shows houses, oftentimes the hardest one is where you have a downspout that just lets go of the water right on a patio or right on a sidewalk. And those are the hardest ones to figure out. How can you best address this? If there's like a garden bed right next to it, then you could potentially run it under. But now that you mentioned the rain barrel, if it's on a patio, a rain barrel might be the best way to address it.
And those are my favorite, especially in patio or back deck situations, because a lot of the times people will have plants or a pet that they want to have a water bowl out there for. And that's a free way to water your plants or your pets.
Yeah. Because my next question, I've never heard of a rain barrel before. Because now I'm like, maybe I need to get a rain barrel because my dog seriously just was bored one day, or there was a mouse or something that it thought was in there. I have no clue. It completely tore the black thing off of my downspout. And then all of a sudden in my office, I hear the and I was like, what is going on out there? And I'm like, shoo, get up. But he already started completely tearing it up. So maybe I need a rain barrel in my backyard.
They are amazing. I highly recommend, and dogs will not chew through them.
But you don't have to empty it necessarily, or do you have to empty it at some point?
Well, if you don't ever use the water, yes, you do have to empty it because a rain barrel can only hold so much. Typically 50 gallons is about the size they go.
And it won't like precipitate or like, no, not precipitate. Gosh, what's the word?
It could freeze in the winter if you don't.
Or like it, what's that called?
Evaporate.
I like to do
Probably
charades with
not,
my
'cause
hands.
it's covered.
So they are fully sealed besides a spot where the downspout goes into it. So evaporation wouldn't be the best option. Typically, I do only recommend those for people who have gardens or animals outside. I use it a lot for people with livestock. They'll use it to fill water troughs just because livestock's expensive and it's a way to keep costs down.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Sweet. I am yeah, you've even answered some of these questions already, even just by talking.
Well, and that was the piece. So we've talked about gutters and gutter guards a little bit. We've talked about the downspout option, but what about like maintenance as far as what about maintenance as far as like landscaping around your property?
So landscaping around the property, the grade is the most important thing. So if you go up to your home and you see the dirt around your foundation kind of cups down into it, bad. You always want it to have an upward slope and be flush against the foundation. So that way if water does get over there, it's automatically diverted away. So keeping up with the dirt around your home is important. I really like having gravel up there, and we spray like this glue stuff on it to where the rocks don't move around a whole lot. Like I said, I have 3 large dogs that like to dig into everything they're not supposed to. So that has kind of been the easiest way for me to permanently fix that in our personal home. But ultimately, just making sure you have a slope grade away from your home is crucial.
Yeah. And that is a good point too. So would you say that somebody should probably check their grading every year even? Or how often do you think people should look at the grading of their home?
I personally check ours annually. It's something that does take a long time to kind of develop a problem. But once it has started, you do need to fix it immediately because it will go downhill quick.
Yeah.
So once water does have that avenue to be able to go towards your foundation, that is going to be where it goes every time. And that's kind of when people start to see those bigger problems develop because they aren't catching it in time. So I typically check ours at the end of every summer. Storm season has gone past. All the animals have kind of burrowed, done all that good stuff. So end of summer is typically when I check ours every year.
What are some of the warning signs that people should be on the lookout for when it comes to proper drainage and just water in general, even if it comes from like gutters around their house?
Well, the easiest way to look is in big rains. If you if you look out your window during a big storm and you see water is just pouring down in a spot it should not be, that is no bueno. Or if after a big storm you see a water path kind of in your dirt, kind of watch where it goes. Is it going away from your home? Is it going straight into the concrete of your home? That is easy. Those are the easiest ways to kind of check when you'll have a problem.
Sweet.
Sometimes when I show properties, someone will be like, that gutter's not straight. I know the answer to that, but why might a gutter not be level all the way across?
So slope is a huge deal in gutters. If a gutter is perfectly straight every time, well, water can get stuck in the middle. Water can get stuck on one side. It depends on where your downspouts are. Typically, a downspout is going to be every 30 feet. So if you have a whole 30-foot run and it's perfectly straight, well, sometimes stuff will get stuck in the middle. So you always want to encourage a flow of water. So that is kind of why there's a slope in everything.
You also mentioned the downspouts, which I kind of wonder when you talked about the undersizing of gutters until recently, I kind of wonder if maybe there's a potential that people may not have enough downspouts if things have changed.
Oh man. So downspouts is actually my biggest fight with clients. They aren't the most aesthetic piece. People don't want water really anywhere, but it does have to go somewhere. I actually recently had a client who had it was a little bit over a 30-foot run. He only wanted one downspout on one side. That is not enough downspouts. I can't warranty it at that point because I know it's going to be faulty. He's a contractor though, and I can't argue with him because, ultimately I am a woman in the field. So what do I know?
What do you know?
Truly, I mean, I'm just a girl. But he ended up calling me about a year later and was like, hey, my gutter's pulling away from my home. Can you add some more brackets? And I was like, we actually have the max amount of brackets I can put on that thing. If you let me put a downspout on the other side, you will not have any more issues. Well, I don't want a downspout over there. I'm putting a garden there. Well, let me put a rain barrel there. No, I don't like how that looks. Okay, well, I can't do anything. So having the right amount of downspouts properly spaced is crucial to the functionality of the gutters and the proper size downspouts.
So when would you recommend to have another downspout when it comes to the amount? So you said 30.
I put one every 30 feet. But it also depends on the pitch of a roof. So if you have an extremely steep roof and it's kind of in that valley, let's say it's only a 6-foot section right there, but it is getting copious amounts of water, I'd still want to add 2 downspouts there because you're trying to keep up with triple the amount of water in a small spot. So it does depend on certain factors, but ultimately the rule of thumb is every 30 feet, add a downspout.
Yeah. Sweet. Now I'm like, I feel like I need to just go home and start looking at my gutters and stuff like that.
Next time we have a heavy rain, you should go look.
Hey, there's supposed to be a big storm coming Friday. So
I know.
Go out and just look out your windows. Tell me what you see.
I mean, I guess so. When we're having Brooklyn in to talk, I know this is coming out later in the year, but this is at March. So we are right before storm season.
I'm so excited.
So just like,
my
I'm ready
joints
for
are
it.
tingling.
She's like, I can feel it like in my bones. The rain is coming.
Oh, yeah. My right ankle's going nuts. The Midwestern in me's excited.
Is there anything else besides like cleaning your gutters, making sure you have the right size, making sure you're getting the water away? Is there anything else that somebody could be overlooking?
Sealant. So that is actually a huge deal. Gutters last 20 to 30 years, like I said. Sealant does not. So in extreme heat, humidity, all that sealant will start to dry out, crack out. Doesn't mean your gutters are faulty, but going up with a caulking gun and checking that stuff every now and again. So if you see end caps leaking, joints is a big one we have. So if your miter, it's like a little strip on the inner corner of your gutters. If you notice water kind of leaking out of that, that typically means it's time to reseal that stuff and keep up with it, because sealant does not last 20 to 30 years.
Yeah, that makes sense. I would think that's something commonly overlooked.
Very
and I
common.
hadn't thought of that.
Yeah, well, hey,
Now I
now
have.
you know.
Yeah. How often would you say that somebody should maybe have their gutters inspected?
I personally, if you get brand new gutters, I say you're good for 5 years. As long as you're cleaning them out and doing your due diligence on maintenance, don't worry about them for 5 years. After that, weather takes a toll. That's kind of when you start noticing sealant breakdowns. Older gutters, I always check them annually. I'd rather avoid thousands of dollars in damages as soon as I can versus letting it hit that point. So annually is typically my personal rule of thumb. But for fresh installs, you have a little bit of leeway.
And then the older gutters are considered the ones that are before 2011 because they were different.
There is still older 6-inch gutters.
Yeah.
So, we're in 2026. You could have a 2015 gutter and it's the 6-inch size, but it's still 10 years old. It's going to need a little bit of help every now and again.
TLC.
And there's some really old gutters on like older homes that have that classic look, and they're not what you use, probably aluminum gutters, right? They're not aluminum.
So we do aluminum, galvanized, and true copper gutters.
And
we have
that's
all
what I'm
sorts of
thinking of.
fancy stuff.
I thought you were going to actually call out like a certain part of time. I was like, wow, you're really putting them on blast.
No, it's just the idea. If you think, because
North Lawrence, I'm looking at you.
you said like copper gutters. So if you find like an old house that's beautiful, a lot of times they don't have the newer gutter systems. They have the older gutter systems, and not everybody wants to replace those because of the style.
Yeah, well,
It is extremely expensive. So I did just work on a home. They were told that they had a full copper gutter system. However, only the front of the home was real copper. Everything else was an aluminum gutter, but it was in antique bronze, which is exactly what copper looks like after it's been patinaed. So just make sure you have real copper before you start worrying about the price of that stuff.
That makes sense.
so what would be the benefits of having those different types of gutters?
There's truly not a benefit to them at all.
Is it more just like an aesthetic thing?
It really is just an aesthetic. Copper gutters, I personally don't understand the want for a true copper gutter. You cannot seal them. You cannot screw them together. It's all soldered. So you have to go through and individually weld those sections, solder those sections together. It costs so much money to get a true copper gutter. I think we charge like $50 a foot.
Yeah.
Just with material, install, the soldering. That's at the end of the day what it is. But you can now get an aluminum copper gutter. You can keep that beautiful copper color all year without any patina. Forever, not all year. So I think there's so many affordable options now that there is truly no benefit to a copper or galvanized gutter aside from aesthetics.
Yeah. Besides being able to say, I have a copper gutter.
Truly, it's
Mine's
just bragging
all
rights.
copper. Yeah. So, what would you say is the most expensive mistake that you see homeowners make related to drainage?
The most expensive mistake, I guess, would just be not having your downspouts empty in the right spot. It's something so silly. People typically, a lot of contractors I see that used to do gutters locally would just put an elbow on the end of the gutter and wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. But we get called out there after a foundation crew has came, and typically the foundation guy every time tells the client, you need to fix your gutters immediately. But they've already spent however much money a foundation costs to get fixed and mud jacked. So typically just having your downspouts empty in the wrong spot is the most expensive mistake.
Yeah.
If you could recommend somebody do one thing today, what would it be?
Please look where your downspouts exit.
Yeah, she's hammering that into us. Like, now do you feel like you need to go home and look at your downspouts too? Or
Well,
you're like, you already know
It's
you're
so
good?
important.
I kind of, yes, I completely agree. And even if you think of when it's cold in the wintertime, even depending where they exit, you could wind up with a very frozen piece of concrete. That's dangerous.
Yeah, and you slip on, and then that just gets.
So you got that issue in the winter, summertime.
And that's a lot of the reason why people don't like having a downspout exit right onto a patio surface, because it's going to ice, it's going to do this, it's going to do that. There's so many other solutions you can do to still have your downspout to exit the amount of water it needs to without freezing over your sidewalk. It's 2026. We have solutions.
Because even thinking, like, if you didn't get up at the end of fall to clean out your gutters, and then they're full, so then they're overflowing, and then that's when the ice can become a real issue too.
I actually just cleaned out a set of gutters out in the country in Lawrence. They had livestock. There was frozen poop and leaves and a whole ecosystem, and it came out to be a solid block out of these gutters.
Oh my God.
And I don't understand how you can let it get that bad. Please don't forget about your gutters. Please.
Please give them the TLC they need.
That's right.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Let's play fact or fiction.
Oh boy.
If water drains eventually, it's fine.
No. Fiction.
And two, if you want to expand on things, you can.
Oh man, no. Please make sure it drains efficiently and effectively, not just a slow dribble. Please.
Drip, 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 drip.
How about overflowing gutters only cause minor issues?
I'm going to have to say fiction again. Unfortunately, those can cause major issues.
Foundation problems usually start inside the home.
No, fiction. These are all fiction.
No, not yet. No, you just wait. Just wait.
That's why I renumbered.
Oh, you renumbered them. I was just still going.
I had to listen to that one again. I was like, this is another fiction. Yeah, no, this is not true. No, foundation problems can start outside of the home as well. Those downspouts are pesky.
Patrick's like, Lexie cannot follow instructions.
It's completely cool. Gutter guards reduce maintenance, but don't eliminate it.
Fact. I love that.
Okay. I'll read this
Your
one,
choice.
even though because they're okay. Downspouts don't need to direct water far from the house.
Oh my gosh. Fiction. I've been hammering on downspouts so hard.
Yeah.
That one's personal.
Drainage issues may not show up immediately.
Fact. Sometimes they are hidden, and it does take a little bit more digging to figure out where the issue stems from, but you will find it if you look hard enough, I promise.
You got them all right.
Yeah.
Yay.
Well, at least what chat said was right.
That's right.
Oh my gosh. What do you want to leave us with?
I guess just check where your downspouts exit, please. Focusing on something that a lot of people overlook really does add value to your home, essentially. So even if you're looking to sell it, throw some gutter guards on it. All of our installs include a 5-year labor warranty, so we do like adding that for clients that are potentially selling their home because it does add a little bit of a perk. Those warranties are tied to the home, not to the person. So as long as you focus on keeping that water 6 feet away from your home, you're going to save yourself a lot of money in the long run.
Perfect. Well, thank you for joining us on this episode, and it will be coming a little bit later this year, but it was a lot of fun, and we enjoyed having you on.
Thank you guys for having me. It's not often I get to talk about gutters. Nobody cares about it as much, so this was fun.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you to the Lawrence Public Library for letting us use this space. And don't forget to like, subscribe, share, follow, do the things.
And
Spread the word.
Yeah. Oh, comment too. That'll help boost us.
Positive comments. Or conversation comments.
The conversation comments. I guess they don't have to be positive. Like, you guys are so awesome. You don't have to say that, I guess. But if you want to, we wouldn't be mad. But okay. Thank you. Signing off.
Thanks for joining us on Lawrence Real and Local Keeping It Real podcast. We appreciate our guests taking the time to join us. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a review if you enjoyed today's episode.
For more information, please visit us on the web at www.lawrencerealtor.com. And remember, Whether you are buying, selling, or simply dreaming of buying your future home, we're here to help. Until next time, keep it real
And happy house hunting.